The section is being recorded now, and we will get started. Uh, I'm sure we've all seen the title of the webinar. We, just for record and for clarity's sake, the title is just how to break into tech in 2024 and of course beyond. And for the next 53 minutes or so, we will take every one of us through that journey and let you see that it's possible and that it's, without having to sweat, you can also break into tech and earn your six figures. And we'll try as much as possible to make it as interactive as possible. We'll make it as simple as possible without going into any technical jargons. We want to make it very simple. That is the title, what we'll be doing for the next 52 or 53 minutes. And to do that, here is our agenda. Like I said, we want to maximize our times. The key here is we must get something out of these sections, be confident enough that we are able to take that decisions that meant we want to break into tech. And you will see by the end of the section that it's not something difficult because others in your shoes have done it, including myself. I've done it. And if I can do it, our job on this section here today is to let you know you can also do it. Any questions before I proceed? So here is our agenda. We'll go ahead and do just brief introductions. We'll also take you through who we are as a companies, the trainings that we offer, the requirements to break into tech, as in what you need to know. I want to tell you that you will not become an expert in 3 months, in 4 months, in 5 months. The beauty of business analyst, scrum master, product management is there are basic things that you need to know. You can know within 6 to 8 weeks. And once you know those basic things, then you get to learn it as you move on, on the job. So that's just the basic things. We'll take you to the requirements, what you need to know, what you need to have to break into tech. And we'll also spend times on how the strategies and how you need to break into tech. What are the key things, the strategy that you have to do? Then we'll end the section by having a question and answer so that we can ask us questions. We're happy for us to answer your questions. So this is what we'll go through in the next 51 minutes or so. Any questions before I proceed? Okay, thank you. So let's start with the first one, introductions. I would like to start, of course, I will lead the section. I'll start by introducing myself. Then I will pass through the next persons. When I pass through the person that I pass through will nominate another person for us to introduce ourselves. I don't want us to spend more than 2 or 3 minutes doing the introduction. So basic, probably our name, the country where we currently reside, if possible, what we're currently doing, and what is the motivations or what's our aspirations to break into tech. Very within 30 seconds maximum. Please, let's just do it so that we can have time for others. So I'm going to start. My name is Kabir Akinola. I'm a director and co-founder in TechPro. Currently, I work as a senior business analyst with, Victorian government in Victoria, Melbourne, which is a state in Australia. Um, I'm into tech already, but I'm open to learning more into tech and also be a partner in helping others to break and move into tech. I'll pass on the battle to Oladapo.
Thank you very much. My name is Oladapo Lukumaya. I work as a senior analyst with with Queensland government, and I'm also a partner with TechPro Institute, and I also coach and mentor interested individuals who are looking forward to migrating into the tech space, especially in the area of business analysis, Scrum Master, and product management. Okay, Yemisi, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yemisi Dada. Here in Melbourne, working as an educator in early learning center. So I'm looking for the opportunity to work as an analyst, and I'm trying all my possible best. Thank you.
Pass the baton to anyone.
I think Joy.
Joy, can we have your introduction briefly, if you can talk? We know you're at work, by the way. If not, Said, can you go? So Joy will join us later. Said,
Okay,
do you
yeah.
want to give us? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Good morning from this end. My name is Sahid Lawal. I used to work as a project engineer back in Nigeria, but presently I live in the UK. So I've been wanting to transit into tech. Presently, I'm learning about data analytics, but based on what we discussed the other time, KB. So I want to give this a try as well. So hopefully we'll get go when I'll get there. Yeah. Thank you.
Or West?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omona West. I'm in Queensland. I just finished my Doctor of Philosophy, and I've got a master's in information systems. So very interested in going into business analysis. But I'm currently in the stability sector with the Queensland government. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're not sure if Joy can talk now. If Joy can talk, we'll appreciate if Joy can just take 30 seconds to kind of introduce herself. Otherwise, Sanusi is just joining us. Sanusi, welcome. So we've not really gone far. We're just introducing ourselves. If you like to take the honor, I would like to give you the honor of just briefly introducing yourself, briefly, within 30 seconds.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Sanusi Adebayo Buhari. I have experience in the sales, over a decade experience in sales and marketing. Joining this course because I have a niche for data, and I hope to progress in the data field. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. We want to take it that Joy is unable to talk, so we'll proceed. And so now the next on the agenda is just brief. Okay. Yeah, just to briefly take us through who we are as as a company, and I'll give the honor to Oladapo. Something that Oladapo did not mention is a doctor, a PhD holder. So he doesn't like to be addressed as one. But when you've gone through that journey, I think the best we can do is just to give him the honor and just make sure that we address him as one. It's my lifelong dream, even though commitment here and there is not allowing me to foster and to kind of achieve that. So, Dr. Oladapo, I would like to refer to you as Dr. Oladapo for today. If you can just take us through the next one, which is just a brief introductions of the company TechPro.
All right. Thank you very much. So at TechPro Institute, essentially, we are an EdTech training institute. And the goal of the organization is essentially to bridge the gap in building tech talents who are able to leverage their experiences, skills, and be able to also um, tap into the available opportunities around. Take, for instance, we are talking of business analysis, Scrum Master, and product management. So we give on the job training, we help you to train to land roles, we guide you on your resume preparation, and we essentially hold you by the hand to get your role, to land your job, and build a career. So this is what we do, and we've been doing this for a while, and been able to help. I went through this. Interestingly, Mr. Kabir was the first person that trained me in business analytics about 2 years ago, and today now I happen to work with him as a partner. So if and I'm working comfortably now in tech, and I'm also a success story. I'm part of the success story. So this is why I'm excited to also share with you that this is what we do at Tech Pro Institute.
Thank you, Dr. Ladapos. Interesting. How time flies. I didn't even know it's almost 2 years now. But one thing I would like to give you is just your courage and also your dedication during the course of that. If you don't mind, I'd like to kind of take you through a journey, my personal journey, by the way. So I moved to Queensland. I moved to Australia in 2017. Prior to then, I was in the UK. And while I was in the UK, I had my master's in the UK. And things didn't just work out for me, visa-wise and stuff. And while as I finished my master's, I'd always wanted to, I don't even know anything about tech. I had my master's in HR. Then I boggled into a guy who trained me into business analysis. And, I finished it under about 2 months or so. I got to Australia. I wanted to land my first role. I was looking for a tech role, but I was on a visa, on a student visa, and I had to work limitations. I couldn't. For about 2 3 years, I had to do many jobs. I was into disability, back to back, as we like to call it. You go for 3 or 4 days without coming back home and stuff like that. You just have to end your meals. For those of us in Australia, you know how costly it is to pay school fees, and I have to do that. And on top of that, I have a young family who I need to feed, and you know how costly it can also be. So fast forward to after about 2 or 3 years. But one thing was very straight. Anybody that knew me then will tell you that it was just a matter of time before I eventually moved into tech. Anytime I have the opportunity, you always see me with my laptop. Either I'm doing one training, either I'm watching YouTubes about tech and business analysis and stuff like that. Immediately I finished on my master, my wife finished her studies, and I moved into 485, which is a graduate visa. I stopped working as disability. I said, I've had enough. And for about 5 good months, I was at home craving and looking for a job. And God will have it, 2001 November, I landed my first role as a BA. Then my salary was 107, if I'm to be honest. I think 104. And yeah, it might look small for those of us in the disability compared to the amount of money we can earn potentially. But hey, I was working fully remote. I do just 9 to 4. I stay at home with my family all through the weekends. And I was interacting more with people, people that you can know. And on top of that, I was career progressions. Nothing beats that excitement. Fast forward to today, while I'm not, maybe I cannot come here to say how much I'm earning. You're looking at something above that, multiple fold and stuff within the space of 4 years. And that's to tell you that not only that you can land your first role, you can also grow career-wise. I can boldly say now that I earn more than you will not earn even if you do 2 3 jobs as a business analyst. And that is the possibility. Apologies for just boring you with that stories. Why do I have to go through that route? It's just to let you know that number one, you can land a role in tech. Number two, you can achieve your desired work-life balance. Number three, you can grow your career progression, and you can earn so much that you will not even think you can earn. It's possible. And that is what we will take you through today. If there's something we want to let you know today, it is that it is possible. We want to give you the assurance that you can do it. However, even they say help those that help themselves. I'm not going to make sure to come here and say that it's easy. It's not. But if you are dedicated, you really want to do it, you are at the right place, because we're more than ready to hold your hand. We've done it for people. Thank God Dr. Oladapo just said that now. We've done it for many people across even UK and Canada. We can also do it for you. So you're at the right place for you to achieve your desired goals. Now, thanks for that. The next things that we would like to discuss is the training of while we're trying to, we want to build on our portfolio. Currently, we have 3 trainings courses. We're doing business analysis, we're doing Scrum Master, and product management. Now, I can tell you this, that if you are skilled in one, you can work with the two. And that is one thing. And what we also do is we don't only train you as a business analyst, we incorporate some element of Scrum Master and product management into our training, so that when you finish your training, you have the opportunity to work on a live project. See, I say it's much easier. You want to just go to YouTube. You can see some very random training on business analysis and stuff. But nothing beats when you have that one-on-one mentoring sections, when you work on a real life project. I don't know about you, but for me, I learn more when I have the ability to practicalize what I've learned. And that is what our training does. It's more of a 70-30. 30 is theoretical. We just take you to the theoretical side of it. The other side, 70%, you practicalize on what you have been taught. You have a live project where you work on live projects, and when you do it, that will help you to kind of know your onions, know when you get a role, you are working in real life, at least it won't be strange for you because you've done it, and that is what we're trying to do. Now, in terms of what we're the training on offer, we do this 3 training: business analysis, Scrum Master, and product management. Why? Now, to many of us, the word business analysis might be new, and rightly so. To me, maybe about 7 years ago was when I had that first word first. We're more familiar with business analytics, and the different. There are these two, business analysis and business analytics, are 2 different things. Now, why business analysis? Why in business, as a business analyst, in business analytics, you're meant to have some domain knowledge in, some technical skill set, like, SQL, must be very good with data, Excel, and stuff like that. If you're good at those, fantastic. But for those of us who do not have it, and I'm going to say this to you, I am not very good. I don't even know SQL. My Excel skill is not advanced, intermediate level. And the last time I worked with Excel was about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't do it. And I am a business analyst, a senior business analyst for that matter. I'm not saying if you know those things, it's good. But the beauty of it is that as a business analyst, you don't need them. If you know them, they are just an added advantage. And that is why I preach to people that, number one, it's more easier for you to land your first role as a business analyst than as a data analyst, because the requirement of what you need to know as a data analyst is, you have to be Excel. at some like Excel, Python, SQL, Power BI, and some BI tools. But as a business analyst, you only need to know fewer things, minimal about 5 or 6 things are the basic things that you need to know. When you know those basic things, others you will learn as you grow on the job. And the beauty of it is this: you do not need to know a line of code. I don't know anything about coding. It's not something I enjoy, but you know what? I control those guys who have been coding for the past 10 years or so. Because as a business analyst, others work within you. You act as a license, as an intermediary between the technical guys, who, the developers and the owner of the business. And that is your role as a business analyst. So hence, why we've decided to specialize on these 3 roles is just this. These are the roles that does not require any line of coding. Any technical skill set or requirement is zero. You don't need them. Again, these 3 roles are roles that you can start as a novice and within 6 months master it, because they are much easier, very, very easy to master. Remember what I said? No need for any, there's no requirement for technical skill sets. Also, you can start as a novice and within 6 months you mastered your role. Another beauty about these 3 roles is that they are very interwoven. So when you learn and you get trained as a business analyst, you are more than ready. You can work as a scrum master, you can work as a product manager or product owner. And that is what we do. When you sign up, you work as a business analyst, you will be trained to be able to work across these 3. So these are the 3 things, the 3 trainings that we offer. Why you might sign up for one, the expectation is that we'll give you some bundle so that you'll be able to work across. However, I still say that it's more easier to start your journey as a business analyst, because with that, you are less, the requirement is very minimal. And business analyst role is the only role that I know that what you need to know is just about 5 or 6 things. And I've seen cases where they will know you don't have that skill set, but they are ready to take gamble on you. And that shows you how easier it is to land your first role as a business analyst. Why? Because the demand is much more than the supply. Okay, I'll give an example. If you have a data analyst, it's possible in a project, you're likely to have one data analyst in a project, but you can have multiple business analysts. 3, 4. 90% of all the roles I've worked in, we have minimum of 3 business analysts in one project. Why you only have 1 data analyst and stuff. So, and that is why you will see the next things will take you through the requirement of what you need to know, and also take you through, the job roles. You see about 10,000, about 2,000, 3,000 requirements or job offer as a business analyst. So it's more easier for you to break into it. You don't need to have technical knowledge or skill sets prior to it. Even as you go along with it, I've just mentioned to you, I don't know anything about coding. I don't do it. I can only use Excel at a functional level. My Power BI skill set is at functional level, basic things. I don't know SQL. Anything technical is no for me. However, I know my onion as a business analyst. It does not mean that you should not be good at those things. What we're just saying is, for you to start with, you only need to focus on what matters, and that is what we will train you. Now, when you are on the road, we expect you to do what? To upskills. And that's what some of us have done in the past. You see someone moving into more data analysis, someone moving into cybersecurity, someone moving into development and stuff like that. That is it. But our focus as a company is to get you job ready as a business analyst, as a scrum master, or as a product owner, which are the 3 trainings and courses that we specialize on. Okay? Any question before we go to the next on the agenda? Any questions about these trainings and how they are interrelated, or any questions so far? You know, one of the things I like is I want my section to be interactive, because no one is an island of knowledge. A question you might ask, I might pick one or two things there, and that's what I like to do. Yes, Sahid.
Yeah, thank you for the brief highlight. But I will just want to know, I don't know if you will still get there, but I want to know what those skill sets are to become, at least for a starter. So if you get there, that's fine. But if not, you can just briefly mention it here, please.
All right, thank you. I think that's going to be the next thing. So thanks for that. That will be the requirements to break into tech for those three roles that we mentioned earlier on. And if there's no further question, I'm going to call on Dr. Oladapo to kind of take us through that, the requirements to break into tech, most especially as a business analyst, Scrum Master, and product owner.
All right. Thank you very much. So let me share a little bit about myself. My background is from the sciences. My first degree was in animal science. I have a master's in biotechnology. My PhD was in food science and biotechnology. So I'm coming from a non-technical background. So one of the skills though you have is willingness, that resilience to make a change is a skill. So that willingness to try something new is one of the skills. Number two, if you can carry out research not as a scale of a PhD, but at what can I do to make this that I can jump on Google and search for answers, go on YouTube and search, is a skill. Because there are sometimes they even give me tasks in the office that maybe I'm trying to do something, I'm pulling some data, I can't know it. I will just open a YouTube video and see how to do it, then I do it in my work. So you see, there are little skills that one we need. While we are in the undergrad, like when we did our bachelor's program, or maybe when we're in the polytechnic, we did projects. Ability to communicate with your supervisor, ability to take instruction, give feedback, take criticism. These are skills. These are the same set of soft skills, because mainly one of the things that you will need to thrive in these three roles, soft skills, being able to take initiative. You can, when you see things are not working, don't wait until you are called. Being able to be proactive, raise your hand. I think I observed that there's a process that we can do this thing better. That's another skill. So if you look at all what I've mentioned, I've not mentioned anything technical. If I can move from a Greek into text now, you can do it coming from any field. Also, because by virtue of my own training, I worked on data. So I am actually more tailored into the data space. But I can tell you now, I've attended some interviews now. They will ask me business analysis strategic questions. They will ask me, how do you manage strategy? How do you convince stakeholder? How do you negotiate? So these are all the skills that you need to build. And going to tools, you can start learning about tools like Excel, Jira, because you'll be, and the reason why I'm putting these things in visible forms is to create visibility, like Microsoft Planner. You want to prioritize your task. Okay, I'm working in a team. The work that has been assigned to me is high level, medium, or low. You want to create visibility, and again, so that my colleague can see where they are standing. We want to deliver this task in 3 days. You'll be able to notify by email that this work is due, this work is delayed, this work is overdue. So those are some of the skills. And one other skill again is being able to document what you are doing. If an idea comes in your mind, note it down. If they give you a task, ability to be inquisitive. Look at a problem. Try to look at it closely. Do analysis around it. Analysis simply means investigation. okay, they said this is like this. Ask questions. Being able to ask questions. Don't go with assumption. You see, if you notice all what I've said so far, I have not mentioned any technical tool. I have not mentioned anything technical. This is as just the requirement to start with. I don't know if Mr. Kabir has anything to add to all what I've just mentioned.
Not really. So he has just mentioned everything that you need to. The only thing I would just like to add is you, as a business analyst, most especially, you serve as a communicator, okay, between two entities. You serve as a communicator between two entities, and where you translate requirements, when we say requirement, you translate the needs from one point to the other, and that is your job. All what you'll be doing as a business analyst, it's all about translating requirements. Please, when I say requirements here, what we're talking about is, oh, I want people to do this, to be able to log in to use my applications. That login is a requirement. Okay, that is what we refer to as requirements. And you, as a business analyst, your role is just to understand what that requirement is, ensure that you translate it in a way that people can achieve that role, that objectives. Now, sorry, I didn't know I mistakenly. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So to buttress and also take you through the role of a business analyst, I'm going to spend the next 5, maximum 7 minutes to kind of take you through these slides. And when after that, you understand the role in contents very well. Once you understand this, every other things that you might have to do as a business analyst is just something in addendum, addition. Everything that I'll be taking you through in the next 6 or 7 minutes is what you will be doing. As a business analyst, you do not do anything less or anything more. Now, I'm sure we all like food as much as I do. I'm a foodie. I don't hide that. So let's assume myself and 3 of us were hungry. Okay, this, ignore the gender issues here. So 4 of us here were hungry, and we decided to go into a restaurant to go and eat. We just enter a restaurant. This guy, I'm going to represent this as Dr. Oladapo, right? Is the waiter. What will he do? He will just, greet us as we enter the restaurant, sit us down, table of 4, get us seated. Once we get seated, he will come up with a menu and hand us a menu to say, can you go through this menu and tell me what you need? In that, we'll go through the menu, see the menu, and as you can see, I love my chips to be soggy and a bit of, a pair of sandwich or burger, as the case may be. I've seen it, and I'll call Dr. Oladapo here to say, hey, can you make me a chips and burger? In the process, Dr. Oladapo will ask, how do you want your chips to be? Do you want it soggy? Do you want it with some salt, or you don't want it salt and everything? You will do it that way. Now, once after that, that is Dr. Oladapo confirming the requirements of what I want. Once Dr. Oladapo finished, and I just agree to that is how I want my chips to look like, it will take my order to the guys in the kitchen, where we would say to the kitchen guys to say, hey guys, this customer ordered the chips, wants it soggy, no salt, then the burger should be beef and not chicken. The guys at the kitchen will pack all those things that Dr. Oladapo has given them, and they will make the order. In about 10 or 15 minutes, they will call Dr. Olapodapo to say, your food is ready, come and serve the guys, the customer. Now, Dr. Olapodapo will test the food. Not necessary that you will have to eat it, just cite it. Hey, is everything all right? Is this what I've ordered? No, that once everything is okay, that's exactly what he has ordered. It would now go ahead and serve the customer the food. Then, as you can see, happy customer, the food is exactly what they've ordered. They like the food, they're enjoying it, and everyone is happy. The process I've gone through is just the process of what you go through as a business analyst. Where you, Dr. Ladapo, is the BA here, business analyst. These are the customers that will be using the application that you're building. Any form of applications, be it WhatsApp, be it Facebook, be it Uber, any form, irrespective of how big or how small. Now, Dr. Ladapo, as a business analyst, will now get the order, the requirement from the owner of that business to say, hey, do this and do that. I want to build an application where people can order food online. Once that is done, the job of Mr. Ladapo here, or Dr. Ladapo, is to now start asking questions. How do you want people to order? Do you want them to register? What do you want them to register with? With email, with username, you know, all those things. When they register, do you want them to order? When they order, do you want them to make payments online, or they want them to make payments when the food is delivered? Your role as a business analyst is to demystify and understand that. Once you've understood that, you will now translate those things that you've understood in a way that to the technical guys, the developers, those which we represent with this as those guys in the kitchen, the chef that will cook. So the technical guys are the one that will now use all what you've understood. Dr. Ladapo mentioned about ability to document. All what you've understood, you will document it using what we call user story and acceptance criteria. Those are the key things you must know as a business analyst, and you will understand, will take you through on how to write it. When you've written it, the software developer will use what you've written to now do their coding. Once they've done their coding, before you now complete and present what they've done into the owner, you have to do the testing, which was exactly the same thing about here. The food is ready. This guy just have a taste, check that it is exactly what they have ordered. That's your role. When you look at all what I've said, anything technical in what I've said, no. Your role, the only thing you need to do is just to be attentive to understand what the owner wants. Once you understood it, translate it into documentation, user stories and acceptance criteria. I don't want to get technical. It's just very simple, which is so very simple. When you do that, you've written it, you've done your job. The technical guys will now go ahead. Which are the technical guys? The developers. To use what you have written to do their coding. Once they finish the code, they will let you know. You will now do your testing to say, hey, does these things meet what I have written? Is user able to register with their email? Are they able to do forget password? Are they able to see the available food? Are they able to pay? And all those things. Once everything works, you will now present it and say, hey, the owner of the business, we've done what you have to us to do. You can now start using the applications. And I mentioned, irrespective of how big the project or the applications, Facebook, WhatsApp, Uber, Netflix, those are the things. They follow that principle. Business analysts understood what they want, translate it, the developer works about it. So You can see nothing technical. It's just your ability to understand what they want, then translate it, ensure that it is, you test it, that meets the requirement. So in a nutshell, it's all about your attention to details. It's all about your ability to understand something and to, I understood it and I'm telling you in a way that you can do it better, in a way that we can achieve results. That is your role as a business analyst. Any questions further? Saeed, have we been able to answer your questions?
Yes, you've answered my question, but something just struck my mind now, like the process you just explained now. So I'm like wondering, so what is the difference between a business analyst in this case and a project manager?
Doctor, do you want to go?
Yes. Okay. Now, in every project, there's someone who takes the lead role, and that is what a project manager does. So a project manager is one that oversees projects. He coordinates the delivery of the project from the beginning, from project initiation up until when the business and the project is handed over back to the business. A business analyst only draws up where more around understanding of what does this project want to achieve in form of the current state analysis of the project, is the one that helps to justify why that project needs to be executed, is the one that draws up all the business flows in terms of business process models, is one that writes up all the documentation about, okay, in this meeting where we have meetings with the stakeholder, the business analyst is sitting there, and as they are brainstorming, coming up with different ideas, asking questions, he's taking it down, and he's going to translate all those things he's jotting down into what? Functional specification, which is like, okay, the another technical part. Functional specification, non-functional specification. He's one that will understand who are the stakeholders that we are solving problems for. He will note it down. Who are we responsible to? Do we need to keep accountable? Who do we need to consult? Who do we need to inform? In all those people sitting down. So he's one that does the technical bit, but he has no business in terms of procurement. That's the work of the PM. He has nothing to do in terms of coordinating meetings with the project board, because depending on the structure of the organization, there are some organizations that report directly to the senior directors or the board. So it's the PM that takes the lead. There are some organizations though that a business analyst works as the PM, but most times the structure are clear. That is in a waterfall. In Agile, it's a bit different. So have I been able to help you to understand the role of a PM now, a project manager, compared to the role of business analyst?
Yeah, it's clear now. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to also add to that in a very concise way, a project manager manages resources, durations. If the project is meant to go for 6 months, the role of a project manager is you don't exceed that 6 months. If the budget is 10 million, the role of a project manager is that you do not exceed that 10 million. Okay? However, as a business analyst, I don't care. My own is just that you need to develop an application where people can order food. I just have to make sure that that thing is delivered. If we have to go extra one month, we have to go. Project manager is now the one that will liaise with the board to say, hey, we need extra 1 month, we need to have extra 1 million budget and all those things. And if they cannot, the project manager is the one that will say, hey, because of this, we cannot finish it. So instead of going to give you 10 things, we will only give you 8 things. Then my job as a business analyst is now to prioritize which of those 2 things we will not be able to deliver based on business value, based on importance. And one of the things we will teach you is how do you prioritize that? So that is the difference between the role of a PM and a business analyst.
And to also ensure that whatever solutions are developing is within scope. There's time for start and finish. So
yeah, very clear. Thank you so much.
All right. We have 10 minutes or so. Doctor, do you want to strategies on how to break, which is the main focus? Apologies. I want to be I want to seek your audience. If we have to go like 5 minutes extra, please, I will just give us that 5 minutes. If we have to, but we'll try and just stay within the time frame that we've allocated.
Essentially about the strategies, there's no hard and fast rule about breaking into tech. It's about taking the training. Some of us already have some work experience. We will leverage on it. Like someone that has worked in sales, someone that is already working as a data analyst. Those skills are not waste. It comes in handy for your role. But there are some business analytics knowledge that we need. Like, let me share this. In one of my very first full-time role, I worked as a data analyst and reporting officer because I work within the project management office. There was one thing Mr. Kabir told me that they might ask me, I should remember. And the manager for the role asked me this question: do you just love building dashboard and report, or you want to understand stakeholder needs? That question was a trap. I told them because I remember when Mr. Kabir told me, I'm talking of 2023. I just told them that interview was in December of 2022. So I told them that I love to understand the needs of stakeholders because if I don't understand their needs, there's no way I'll be able to build a report or dashboard that will address their need. And they fell in love with me for that response. So what am I saying is it's about learning the essential things in business analysis that makes you to understand how to identify what are the needs, the steps. So it's about taking the course, taking the program, and doing those projects. That is the strategy. So while you enroll and go through this project, this training, you'll be able to learn how to answer questions, how to think as a business analyst. It's taught. Everything we are talking about here, it is taught. And as you take on projects, do projects, you'll be able to begin to see what are the areas of how to navigate your journey. And the other thing you will learn is what tools do I need to start learning? Because even as much as soft skills are very important, you will still need to be able to do your job by using tools. Be able to understand that, okay, if I want to, when stakeholders are talking, everybody's talking, but you need to put it in visual representation. That's where we are talking of business process models. You can use a tool called Visio to create that. If they are talking of, okay, we have a lot of data and we want to be able to see it, you don't need to be too tech savvy. It's good if you learn how to use those tools in data, but how do I translate all these things into visual forms? That's another one of the things you need to learn as a strategy. And and also presentation. So one of the key things, like rightly said, is as far as you have an idea, you want to give recommendation, you want to give suggestion, you will need to practice presentation skills, which is one of the key things we will teach you. How to talk to people, how to interact, even as up to how to send emails. These are some of the strategies that you will need to use to get into tech.
All right, thank you so much. Doctor will share just take us through some of the job role, business analyst job role, just to kind of see, what we're talking about, what you need to know, and also the potentials in terms of the earning. But before we'll get to that, I want to add to what he just said, in terms of the strategy. Now, there is nothing that beats training, and not only training, the training that comes handy with some elements of practical experience. And that is one thing we leverage, we don't take for granted. It's all about you doing this. I learn more by doing than by reading. Okay, go and do it. You go and do it, you do everything. When you do it, we come back together, we'll review, give you where you've made mistakes. You go back there and do it. For the next, when you do that for 6 or 8 weeks, believe me, your knowledge will move from 0 to about 30 or 40, and that's what you need. If you do it again, it will move from 40 to about 60. When you get to that 60, you're good to go. Not only that, see, some of us, we know what we went through before we land our role. We will bring that into bear by holding your hands, guiding you through the processes. Not only there are techniques, ways of how you answered, how you apply for jobs. I always tell people, and I'm going to give you one instance. There are jobs when you go on Seek, there are some that they will say quick apply. The reality of it is, if you are new, I will not ask you to go and apply for those quick apply. Why? Because people like us who are experienced, we're lazy. Those are the kind of job we will apply for because we can finish applying within 1 minute, 2 minutes maximum. And what happened is you now see about 30 people that apply for that jobs. But the one that you have to go to their website, you spend about 15, 20 minutes, people like us will not apply for that jobs. Hence, maybe you are just about 3 or 4 that will apply. Which one do you think you have chances of being called for an interview? The one where 30 people applied, or the one where where only 3 or 4 people applied? That is it. Another strategy here is this. I always tell my guys, apply either in the morning, at night, or Sunday night around 12:01. Why? Because when you apply, your application will be on top. The following day, on Monday, when the recruiter comes in, it is your role, that your application that they will see. Of course, the way they will treat that, it's better than when your application is about 30 pages or 30 distance. These are strategies. Not only that, I cannot emphasize this. I remember when I started, I was looking for jobs. I would go into an interview blindly. I would just come with a lot of resources, like I was writing JAMB. I didn't know how I have to approach it. But there's something we call STAR techniques. These are, scenario. When they ask you, how have you done this? They're not asking you to tell us, preamble, I will do this. No, tell us how you have done it in a similar situation. STAR techniques, and these are what will take you through to guide you, to mold you into that, where applying and doing an interview become your second nature, and you can stand a better chance of landing your role. So it's not all about training you. It's all about providing you the platforms where you feel comfortable to apply for the jobs. You know how best to apply to be shortlisted, and also you have the best skills to go to an interview and land that. Not only that, I say this a lot. The moment you land a job, that is the most difficult time of it. Because landing a job is easier, but performing and staying in that job is the most difficult, especially the first 3 months. And you need to have some backing, some mentor, to say, hey, Mr. Kabir, this is this, how do I navigate through? Even though we will not be able to tell you how to do it, but we'll guide you to say, hey, you can do it this way. At least we'll let you know, put your mind at rest. There's nothing for you to be panicked. Let me be honest with you. My first role, even till now, I have a dedicated computer, desktop computer, where the only thing I do on that is to go to YouTube. When they ask me to go and do this, I go to YouTube and just go and do it. And that's it. What happens? I just have to spend more time learning. It's all about it. So these are the things we will take you through. We just want you to be comfortable that we know what we're doing. We want to give you the confidence that you are at the right place. And of course, you have everything you need to land your role and be successful on that role. So, Doctor, do you want to take over control and just take us through? Apologies again. I mentioned we might go 5 or 10 minutes late. I would sincerely appreciate if we can spend that 10 minutes, and apologies.
All right. So let me quickly share my screen now. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
So this is on Seek. We have different platforms that we can find jobs. LinkedIn, Indeed, Jora, Seek. Even for different parts of the world, you can use Seek. Take, for instance, looking at this is just a business analyst title. I didn't put classification. I didn't put the location. But look at what we are having here: 9,396 jobs just in business analysis space alone. This is in the healthcare sector, like what do you call it here? An aged care setting. You see, depending on how you have prepared your profile. See, it says you may be a strong candidate because I've populated my profile already. So it shows me that I may be a strong candidate. This is also another one here. See, IT business. This is local government, for instance. Bayside Council, yes. Look at the salary here. This is New South Wales, 95,000 to 106. And these are salaries that they are not very bad for a start. You don't have to do 2 jobs to earn this. And some of these jobs, even depending on how you write your resume, you can negotiate. So let me scroll down further. This is another one here. And some of these roles come in full-time, and some of them come in form of contract jobs. If you are very confident, you can actually give yourself some ability to try contract roles. So you can filter down, and you can see some of these roles are actually, you see, WFH means work from home flexibility. A day rate contract. This is like a contract role now. This was posted 1 day ago. You see? And look, let me scroll down and see. Quick apply. You gather, analyze stakeholder. These are the responsibilities. You gather, analyze stakeholder goals and need challenges, documents, just like we said. You bridge the gap between the business need and technical solutions, just like Mr. Kabri said. Create technical documentation, work with stakeholders. See, these are the things that you need. You don't need more than this. And look at it. Experience. By you doing projects, you have this experience. Completion of project end to end, meaning from initiation up to completion. Prince 2 is a project methodology. One of the project methodologies you need. Agile is there. And see, the jobs are there. This is private. Another one is the local government. This is local government council. And look at the salary, 97,000 per year. And some of them can pay you more. Paxos is a contracting company. You see? So we have a lot. Look at this now. Take for instance, this was posted 2 days ago. You can earn us. Let me click this and see. You can earn as up to $1,000 per day if you are very experienced. And when we say experience does not mean the long hour and years I've spent. It depends on the knowledge that you can display and convince the interview that I can do this job, which is those are part of the things we want to teach you, and you actually do it. So the more projects you take on, the more confidence you build. Then you can go on and approach the job. So these are some of the ways you can actually look around for opportunities online. This is in Melbourne. This is in Adelaide. So it means anywhere all over. This is in WA, Western Australia. Imagine being earning $65 to $90 per hour. Even disability jobs. How many jobs pay you $90 per hour on a weekday? You only earn this maybe in weekends, maybe on public holidays. No job will pay you this kind of amount of money in normal way. And you have flexibility. You are not doing weekends. So there are so many opportunities around us. This is in government. This was posted 3 days ago. This is actually in the health space. And I can tell you, for this particular role now, this is in my office. A senior business analyst now, the salary has increased. A senior business analyst now earns around 121,000, can go up to 129,000, just for a start. And you don't need to do so much. Even with what you have now, take a little knowledge, take some training, then you can go and apply for this kind of role. That's 6-figure, 121,000 is 6-figure. So different opportunities are there. This is another recruitment agent, $100 per hour. That's a lot. So by the time you scroll through and apply, see, these are the next page. On LinkedIn too is there, Salesforce Business Analyst. So it's about taking on. Robert Water is another recruitment agent. And there's so many opportunities. This is AGL. This is AGL is an electricity provider. They're also recruiting. Where is it? This is in Melbourne. This is federal government, for instance, ABPS6 business analyst, business support. So the knowledge, the opportunities are there, and You can see that there are a lot of recruitment agents. And the other strategy is that while you apply for full-time jobs, build up relationship with recruitment agencies. They can help you in search of job. I keep getting heaps, getting calls. In fact, the first time I updated my LinkedIn profile, my SIG profile that week, every day, even till last week. I'm not applying for jobs now. Even till last week, I still get called. Are you looking for a role? How can we do this? Can you send a resume? They keep sending me heaps of jobs, heaps of jobs. And you can't do money. Even some people do 2 jobs, depending on their flexibility, but I won't advise that for this stage. And I can tell you, if you get a role and, for instance, a contract role and you do it for 6 months, the amount of money we earn is almost equivalent to what someone do in a year who is working full time. But I usually tell people that are starting, start with a full-time role. It will give you time, a soft landing to learn. You won't be under pressure. And you can definitely take leave, take time to also do your own personal study in the background.
Yep. Thank
So,
you, Doctor.
yeah.
So I'm going to open door for question and answer, but before I take anyone, something I would like to address, which it might come up from the question and answer, is what qualifications do you need? Okay. And before I get asked that, let me say this. Honestly, the beauty of this role is this: you do not need qualification. It's not mandatory. Okay. And I can say that, I can beat my chest for that. If you do have, is an added advantage. And part of what we'll do for you is just to kind of guide you through 1 or 2 certifications that you need. Maybe Scrum Master or Agile PMO. That's it. That's all what you need. It's just basic. And these are things you can do. We can finish within a day. However, if you don't have those qualifications or anything, as long as you can demonstrate your knowledge in the when you get to the interview, so be it. That's fine. I do not have any certifications other than my degree and my master's, and of course I was able to kind of let people know that I can do the job at the interview, and I got my first role. However, after that, I've added 1 or 2 certifications. But just to let you know, you do not need to have heaps of certifications, like those of us from engineering, Korean, or all those things or stuff. You don't need it. At the bare minimum, maybe Scrum Master, which you can finish within a day or 2, and it's not difficult to master. But even if you don't have that, believe me, it's not a showstopper. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to take the questions. Otherwise, I would give Dr. Lada for another 2 or 3 minutes to round up and just tell us what's going to be the next things for us to do. But firstly, if there's any question from any member, happy to take any questions. Any questions? Yeah. West.
My question would be that what is involved? Are we going to, I mean, is it going to be a free mentoring session until we get at least, off our feet, or what is involved in this? That's my question.
So the training is there, and once after the training, we encourage people to stay on the platforms. Staying on the platform means that as long as you're still looking for jobs, we have a community where we ask questions. If you have any questions, we can just come to that community, post your question, we'll respond to anything. Not only that, we work as a family. If you have any issues going on, please, we encourage people to reach out personally. Of course, you need to also appreciate our own time and schedule. But if there is a pressing need, most especially about getting an interview and all those things, we're happy to kind of help out. Most especially, I say this, when you are going for an interview, we like to have like a 30 minutes conversation before you interview, so that we can give you the confidence. We can brainstorm on together on likely questions you need before you go for interview. I think we have a section with someone that will be interviewing on Monday tomorrow, because we just like to get our candidates prepped and ready for the interview. And also we know that some of us can be a bit upbeat, and we are there to kind of give you that backing and the assurance that you know more than what you know. And that's the greatest challenges. I always tell people that we know more than what we know to work as a business analyst. However, we need to give you that assurance. You must be there to give you that courage. And that is what we are here to do. To answer your question, why I'm not going to say promise what we cannot deliver. I cannot pinpoint to say, hey, these hours of mentorship is there or not. But what we're saying is this: you have an interview, we would like to have like 30-minute section before you go for an interview to make sure that we brainstorm, we give you the confidence, we'll let you know how you should address that. Also, if there's any issues around questions or anything, happy for you to reach out to either myself or Dr. Ladapo. We're more than happy. This morning, as early as 8 o'clock, someone has reached out, though I would not appreciate that because that's too early. Someone has reached out about, oh, I was watching this, is this and that. We're not in any way, we don't want to be distant to our candidates. So if that answers your question, otherwise, Dr. Ladapo can just take it further.
Okay. Let me give a better clarity and context to the question. The next steps after this is, for anyone that is interested, is there's a a designated web page where we would register, and it's a training, and it's a paid training, but the paid training covers the training for about 6 weeks. You take on live projects, assessments, resume preparation, LinkedIn optimization, interview preparation. So that is the package. And within the first 1 month of landing the job, we also give professional assistance in terms of trying to help you settle in. And even beyond that 1 month, that is the relationship we're trying to build with our students. Understanding the job, being able to be comfortable to fight imposter syndrome. So this is the package. So we will share the link to the webpage. You can indicate your interest, you make the payment, and then we'll send you all the necessary training materials, and we get started with the training. So we are hopeful that we can commence training in the next week, as we've just completed a free session some weeks ago. So we are planning to start the practical projects, so that, and the thing is this, you don't necessarily have to finish all this project before landing a job. You can actually get a job while you have started. The most important thing is to make sure that attending the classes, doing the assessment. It's not just about the payment. The payment is very important, but making sure that you are doing the assessment and you are practicing everything that is being taught, because you are making you job ready. I hope that gives a better context.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Any other questions? Otherwise, it's 15 minutes past. I wouldn't like to take more of our times. If there's none, thank you so much for the last 1 hour and some minutes. And I hope to see us again. Otherwise, thank you so much. And it's been very nice talking and sharing my experience. If there's one thing I would like you to take out of this section, is just that the jobs are there for you. All what you need is just that willingness, that I want to do this. The jobs are there. Even those of us in the UK, I have a lady that will train. I did a reference about 2 weeks ago. The first role she got in Newcastle, £48,000. Okay, the jobs are there, and she literally just finished her master's about 4 months ago. So UK market is hot as well. Same Canadian market. So we just need to be dedicated and give it all up. That is required, because nothing will be handed over on a platter of gold. if you are dedicated, we want to do it, I can tell you that it's truly remarkable and it's achievable. Saheed, I'm happy to take you first.
Okay, one last question, please. Do you have a company for reference in the UK, or you reference it as a remote worker? How do you do it?
That's what we do as a remote work in the UK. However, and another thing I did was that we have a partner companies in the UK that we can also leverage on as well. Sanusi?
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to appreciate how both of you guys have been very detailed in your explanation, and especially for those of us that do not have the tech background, I just want to break into tech. I like the way that both of you guys are detailed, and then the opportunity, and that you are almost always available for any feedback and requests. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thanks. Dr. Ladapo will respond to all our questions, and we will also take it the next steps. But we're open to get started next week. So, yep. Thanks once again, and I appreciate. I hope to see everyone, and also I hope to celebrate our success story. It's achievable. We can do it. Let's just give it all. Thanks once again.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
After you're going off.
Bye for now.
All right, bye.